We got Jonny Hawkins here from Nothing More. Glad you can make Kilpop's acquaintances yet again.
Good to be here, man.
Excellent, dude. So you guys have been killing it for like a couple years now on the road, opening up for big bands, doing the festivals. A lot of people like to ask you, like, who are your musical influences? But what band is the ones that showed you the ropes of the business side? Were there any bands that were just kind of like, here's kind of the way you do this, and they just kind of showed you?
Interesting question. Usually people asking our influences musically, but on the business side, Chris Gale from Five Finger Death Punch was very gracious with his time and very supportive of us, and would kind of tell us how he was doing things that were successful. He's real big presence on their social media and stuff like that. Other than that, I think got a lot of advice from band Chevelle when we toured with them. They told us a lot of things to look out for, because when we started touring with them, we had just gotten our deal, and we were brand new to all these business things to navigate. So yeah.
And the latest video for Don't Stop just came out a few weeks ago, and
yeah.
You had Jacoby Shaddix featured. Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. He was featured in the video, but when I listened to the record, I don't think I caught him on the record.
No, yeah, he's not on the record.
So what was the purpose behind getting Jacoby to be in the video?
Well, it was actually last minute. He wrote that part to the bridge. Mm-hmm. I think like the night before we were talking on the phone, he was like singing it to me over the phone. So it was,
you're like, that's dope. All right, let's do it.
Last minute. We had talked about collaborating for a while, and it was one of those things that we had talked about a few different artists that we'd wanted to do collaborations with or a guest vocal on the record. And we just got so busy and kind of in our own world that we never really got around to incorporating any other artists. But when we were about to do the video, I think my manager and I had talked before about Jacoby, because we felt like the energy of that song really fell in line with a lot of the early Papa Roach stuff, kind of that hip hop energy that kind of influenced into this rock metal thing. So he kind of popped up in conversation, and we were like, hey, let's get him. It was really soon before too. But we toured with them, and Jacoby's just a great energy. Mm-hmm. He's super positive. He came in and just knocked it out.
And the album, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, I love the name. First off, the whole record is great, but I love the name of the album, because to me it just kind of encapsulates what's happening in the world right now. Like, what was the reason behind the name of that record, and was it something that maybe somebody said a cool line, you're like, oh, cool, pen to paper, or did you just think, it sounds all right?
I don't know. That name popped into my head towards the beginning of the process, but it was just on the table with like 10 other album name ideas. And then towards the end, when we finished all the songs that were going to make it onto the actual record, it kind of felt like each one was had their own kind of inner dialogue, a story amongst itself. And when we were making this record, a lot was going on in the world around us. Politically, there was a lot of craziness going on. It was probably the weirdest election year we've ever had. And one of the big things that I noticed, that there was the obvious things that people were outraged about on both sides. But then I felt like there was the thing that nobody was talking about, which was that so many people were so confident in these stories that they were telling, via social media about, this is what happened, this is what was said behind closed doors, and it's like, were you there? Like, there's so much that we really don't know, and people have such a high level of confidence about what they think they know because so-and-so said it, or they read an artico. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, no, reality is way more complicated than that. And so I saw that on a mass kind of socio-political level, and then on a micro level, we dove deep on this one. It was very introspective, had a lot of heartbreak and things to kind of navigate. And through that, I noticed that I was telling myself a lot of stories about what was going on, and most of the time, it wasn't really reflective of reality. So this record was kind of like an anchor for me for reality, and that's why I named it that.
Truth hurts, man. Truth hurts, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it.
It's a sword. Truth is a sword. It cuts.